Hey y'all, I would say good morning because I know you're watching me in the morning time, but actually it's afternoon and it's late afternoon. As a matter of fact, it is 10 minutes after 3. But I just got back from the grocery store and I just had to share what I got today because I keep telling y'all to buy ham. But anyway, let me share this with you. Here is my ham that I bought. There it is. All right. I want to tell you about it. Now, if you've never bought a ham, and I know you have, but some people have not. So here's what I want you to know. This was not on sale, but even when it's not on sale, it wasn't but $13.35, and it was $1.48 a pound. Now, honey, as Mama used to say, you can't beat that with a hoe handle. But anyway, it's all meat except for a bone right in the center. Now, you got two kind of hams that's up there. You've got, well, some people buy the whole ham. I never do, okay? But you've got the butt portion and the shank portion. This is the butt portion. Now, let me show you the difference. When you're looking in the meat counter, well, it'll say butt or shank on there, but the butt portion is round like that. It's just smooth. It's round, okay? And I'm going to put mine with the fat side down. All right. The shank portion is a ham. Just looks just like this, except on this side of it right here, there's this knob that comes out about that far. And that is the bone, and they just cut that part off, the other part. And that's the end of the bone. There's not as much meat on the shank, but the shank portion is cheaper. In other words, this would cost $1.48, where the shank portion, I didn't look, but most of the time it'll be quite a bit cheaper, like, I don't know, 98 cents a pound or something like that. Let me rinse my hands off. So, as a result, you get a little bit less meat, but you're paying less money. But if you want to do ham sandwiches and things like that, get the butt portion, the one I got, because it makes really pretty slices, or if you're doing a special occasion. If you're going to cook a ham just because you want a ham bone and you want to make some ham spread and you want to eat some ham, fried up to eat for breakfast, well, you can get the shank portion. All right, so here's what I do. When I'm cooking a ham, I've got my oven set on 400 degrees. I've got my oven set on 400. I like to use my ham broth, and I don't want it cooking away. So what I always do when I'm cooking a ham is I put a little water in the bottom of my skillet so that when that ham juice comes out, it doesn't just dissipate. It stays in the water, and then I can pour it in a jar, put it in the refrigerator, and make something good out of it, like ham dumplings. All right, so this is 2 cups. I don't know if I'll need it all. I'm just measuring for you because I normally don't. So I'm going to put some in the bottom. That's enough. All right, I put in 1 cup because there's 1 cup left in there. I put 1 cup of water in the bottom. Now, how I do my foil is important. Let me turn you down real good so you see it. You see this flat part right here? I don't want that to dry out. This has got a skin on this. This is all skin and stuff like that, which is delicious. But I don't want this part to dry out. So what I do is I take my foil and I push it down flat on that. Make sure it's really good and flat over that part right there. And I put the other part down there. So if it drips, it'll drip back into the pan, okay? But push it, really cover that part of your ham real good to keep it moist. All right, now we want to do a little bit more on that side. Push it down in the pan, so if any drippings come off of it, it's going to drip right down in the pan and not out in your oven. Like right here, it seems like I need to pull it this way a little bit because that's touching the eggs. Let me do this. So it makes sure that all that drippage goes down into that pan. All right, there she goes. All right, so I'm going to put this in the oven now. It's not quite at 400, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it in there. It'll be there just real quickly. If you don't have one of these black skillets like that, that's the deeper one. You can do it in a roaster pan or whatever. You don't want your pan to be, too terribly big. All right, now let's discuss something. All right, we're going to cook that on 400, probably a couple of hours, maybe an hour and a half. 2 hours and a half or something like that. All you want to do, it's already cooked, I guess you'd say. It's cooked. But you want it to get hot all the way down to that bone, and good and hot all the way down to that bone. So it's going to take that long. You could cook it slower, but make sure you got it wrapped good or it might dry out, and you don't want that. All right, here's some things you can do with your ham when you get it out to eat. On the first night, like this, cut you some real pretty slices and have ham and whatever you want. You can have peas or corn or green beans and potatoes or just your regular meal. You're having ham. Then wrap that up good and put it in the refrigerator. Pour your broth off, put it in a jar, and put it in the refrigerator. Okay, once you do that, let me see. Once you do that, you've got your ham in there that's left over and your broth. Okay, the next day, if you feel like cooking, you could make the dumplings. And I've already taught you how to make dumplings out of all-purpose white lily flour because it doesn't rise up. It has got buttermilk and grease in it. And you work that flour and that grease till it makes a dumpling. Roll it out. You're going to boil that ham bone. Cut all the meat off of it. Every single bit you can find. Put the ham bone in a boiler and boil it with a good bit of water. Until a long time. A long time. So you're going to get that good ham broth and bone broth in that stuff. And you can also pour the liquid that you had in the jar in there. Now, when you take out your liquid out of the jar, it's going to be jelly-like at the bottom. And the grease from the ham floats up to the top of the jar. We skim off that grease. You don't need it for anything, unless you want to make some ham gravy or something like that. But you can throw that away, the grease part, and save that broth and put it in that water. And that's going to be a really rich broth. So then make your dumplings, drop them in there, take your bone out, and then have a rolling boil, drop your dumplings in there, and you've got ham dumplings. If you want to cut up a little of that ham that you cut off and put it in at the very last to have a few pieces of ham, you can do that. Don't put it in at the first because all that boiling will dry it out, okay? So you've had regular ham for supper. You've had ham dumplings the next day. Now the next day you might be ready for a ham and cheese sandwich. So you get out 2 pieces of bread, put you some mayo on it. Sometimes what I do is when I cut my ham off, I put it in just a scoop of water and fry it just a little bit with that water, or it'll get hot, and then put it on my sandwich. So that, because it's cold, I just got out of the refrigerator. So I get my bread, I put my mayonnaise and my mustard on it. I put some warm ham, not watery, but warm ham on it, and some cheese. Then I mash it kind of. And I put it on a cookie sheet and I toast one side and then I toast the other side. And I mash it so it's flat. Some people, and it works too, put a little bit of mayonnaise on the outside of that bread and it turns it brown. And it's good because it's got an oil in that mayonnaise. Some people put a little butter on both sides. That's good. Or you can leave it plain. When you take it out, if you want to lift part of it up, the side that hadn't got cheese on it, you can put you some nice crispy lettuce leaves in there and have a toasted ham and cheese sandwich. That sound good? Then another thing you can do is you can put the leftover ham that you've still got ham left. Put it in your food processor, grind it up, and then put mayonnaise in it and maybe just a little bit of mustard, not much if you want to, some sweet pickles, and then cut up an onion and dice it, and cut up some celery and dice it, and take that ham out, mix all that together, and eat that on a cracker. It is delicious. Or you can take the ham bone, boil it, and put a bag of dried beans in there with it. Put the ham bone with the water and the dry beans and boil it. And make some wonderful dry beans. You could do navy beans or pinto beans or red beans or big white lima butter beans. I love those. So what I'm saying to you is this. For those of you who are having a hard time, sometimes it's better to buy a big piece of meat and do a lot with it than it is to buy all this little bitty meat like hot dogs or bologna. I mean, that stuff's expensive and it's not a full meal. So look for you a butt portion of ham. Look at all of them. You don't want a ham that's hard. This is it's soft and it's got your bone in it. So we're going to cook this, a couple of hours, 2.5 hours. I'll have to see. If you'll smell it. It'll be smelling good in your kitchen. Ooh, it'll be smelling good. And I'm trying to tell you this because I know in America today, people are having a hard time. I can't believe the prices in the grocery store. I am just shocked. So I try to, when I'm buying groceries, I try to be wise. And you can be wise if you buy a big piece of meat. I mean, it's cheaper that way, I guess. But another one to buy is the pork roast, like a Boston butt. Those were good price today. I don't recall what it was, but it wasn't bad. Now the chicken breast, whoo, they were high. But I prefer thighs. I like chicken thighs the best because they're juicier. The chicken breast seems to be a little dry. So when I'm cooking a chicken breast, I either like to do chicken fingers or I'll do some kind of casserole where I've got some goo on top. So anyway, enough of my rambling around today. I met some really sweet people in the grocery store today. They said that their daughter spoke at Bay Minette, Alabama, when I spoke. So, and I knew who they were talking about too. I recognized it. And so we talked for a while. Then I met some other people trying to find some bacon they could afford. And I said, good luck. I bought some, but it was expensive. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. I don't see how some people are even making it. I'm glad I hadn't got 4 hungry mouths to feed. It's just me. And I'll eat on this thing probably till I'm sick of it. You can freeze it. Now, you don't have to, after you eat on it a day or two, you don't have to do anything right then. You freeze that ham bone with the ham on it. And then when you finish with the bone and you've done all you can do with it, dogs love to gnaw on a ham bone. They do. Now, yours may not. Even if you've got a little old bitty dog with little house dogs, if you put that big old ham bone out the backyard and put that little puppy out there with it, that little puppy will lay down in the grass. I'll tell you what he'll do, because I know I've done it. That puppy will lay down in that grass and put his little feet out there on top of that bone like this to hold it down, and he'll just gnaw the ends of it and gnaw and gnaw and gnaw. And they love it. They love it. So anyway, I'll be back in a little while. And we will take that ham out of the oven and we will cut us a slice and have some ham for supper. Okay? I'll be back. Okay, y'all, it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes Let's see if our ham is done. Whoop. All right, while that, let me move this thing because I'm going to fix to show you something. Let me do this. Well, just wait a minute. Here we go. I've got me some bread right here. I'm going to toast it. I buttered both sides, but I'm going to toast it just a little bit. I've turned my oven on broil. Don't let me forget it now because I'll wind up burning it. All right, here's our ham. Let's undo it and see what we got. Oh, it looks so good. All right, now then. You can see down in it, I want you to see this water that's down there. You see that? See how brown it is? Let me get a spoon and let's look at it. I want you to realize what good stuff is in the bottom of this pan. See that? That is nothing but delicious, delicious broth. And that's the one I'm telling you to put it in your refrigerator. And then the fat will come to the top. You can scoot off and then you'll have this good broth left over out of this ham. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Now then, I'm going to get a knife and we are going to slice us off a slice to go with our bread. Like this. I need a little fork here. A little meat fork or something. All right, here we go. Now you can just look. See how pretty. I like to slice mine thin and put more than one slice. I don't buy spiral hams. Now, I know that a lot of people love them, but I like buying cut thin, and I like to cut it myself because when I've cooked a spiral ham and it wanted to dry out because it was already cut. Just sharpen your knife and cut your own. It sure looks good. I can see an old dog loving to get that ham bone. I don't have a dog. I don't want a dog. I've done my dog thing. I do love them though. Oh, how I love a dog. All right, let me check my bread. Woo! Look at that. I told y'all not let me forget that. I got a little bit brown, but it's okay. Now I'm going to take this bread. Let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to take this bread and turn it over. And I'm going to take a little bit of some cheese and I'm going to put it on my bread. Let me move this ham out of the way. Just give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm going to cover it up because I don't want it to dry out. I'm going to just cover that a little bit like that. There we go. Okay, now then, I'm going to take the skillet and I'm going to put me a little bit of cheese on this side of the bread. Then we're going to put this nice warm ham on it. And we're going to have us a little ham sandwich for supper. Does that sound like a good idea? All right, now cut some real thin little pieces off of this. This is hoop cheese. It had, well, red rind cheese. I just pulled the rind off of it when I opened it. All right, let's put this in the on. I've got the oven set on broil. That's why I have to watch it kind of close. Now my oven, my broiler pan will go off. My broiler will if it gets too hot in there. So what I do sometimes, to get that to come on, I just do like that and leave my door open so the heat will come out. Let's taste it plain before we make a sandwich. Now remember, don't salt your ham sandwich because this kind of ham's already salted. You do not need to be salting it. Don't salt your dumplings. Don't salt anything when you're using ham grease. You taste it first and then decide if you want some salt. Even in dry beans, you don't do those either unless you taste it first. Taste it first. Always taste it. Let me move this out of the way. I've got a little bit of lettuce I had in the fridge, so I'm going to put that on my sandwich too. It's going to be good, y'all. I wish you were here. The kitchen smells divine. It smells divine. It smells so good. And it's, well, now it's a little after 5 because I cooked it 2 hours and 10 minutes, didn't I say, or 15? And it's hot throughout. All right, let's see what we got. All right, our cheese is melted. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to turn my oven off before I forget that. I'm going to take this part of the bread and I am going to put me some mayonnaise on it. Like that. This is some French bread that I had. I didn't have any loaf bread. Then I'm going to layer up my ham. I got a lot of it. I'm going to take this piece. It's got my melted cheese. Woo! Hold it. Let me put this on first. I don't even know if I can get my mouth around this one. It's going to be so fat. Put that on it. The melted cheese. We'll pat it down. And there is my toasted ham sandwich. Would you like a bite? I don't know if I can get my mouth around it. I must have cut my bread too thick. Mmm. That's mighty good, y'all. Mighty good. You make sure that you buy your ham and use it all week. There's so many things you can do with it. Even though I did kind of get my top a little bit burnt, but it doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. I love y'all. Have a nice night. Because it's turned dark now. Y'all want to see outside? I want you to see something anyway. I'm glad I did turn you around. I'm going to show you something. Y'all aren't going to believe this. Somebody gave me this plant maybe 2 years ago and told me that it was a type of orchid. See there, the roots of it? You see the roots of it? Okay, well, it didn't bloom, and it didn't bloom, and it didn't bloom, and I'm thinking, that isn't an orchid. I don't know what that is, but it stopped blooming. Well, I went out there one day, and it had shot this long, skinny thing out of that thing, and it had buds on it. And I want you to look. Let me see if I can get you fixed where I can hold this thing. This is an orchid plant. Look at it. And look, I won't pinch one of them off because I just want you to see how beautiful it is. I'm going to put it right up in the camera. Look at that little, look at that. Is that not beautiful? It is an orchid. They were right. But it's a different orchid than anything I've ever seen because I waited and waited, and finally that day that long shoot came out of that thing, and then all those little beautiful yellow flowers are all over it. Little blooms. Just all over it, all up and down it. And they've lasted for a very long time, I'm telling you. Somebody gave me this one too, It's a tropical plant, and it's been just blooming and blooming its little heart out. And this is the one that somebody sent me right here. They sent me a sprig, and I promise you, it wasn't as long as your finger. One, I guess they got off their mother plant. And I thought, boy, this is little. And they had it wrapped up in wet paper towel and mailed it. And so I planted it. And now it's got big old leaves on it. It's a type of begonia. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm going to finish my sandwich. Then I'm going to get on my jammies. And I'm going to get ready for bed. Love y'all. Bye-bye.